Welcome, everyone, to another HDEQ chat with Pamela, Elaine, and Erica. HD, human design, EQ, emotional quotient or emotional intelligence, in case you're wondering why HDEQ. Welcome, everyone. So glad you're here with us today. Today is a bit somber for me and for Erica because we are coming off the heels. Really, we're not coming off the heels of anything. We're actually still in the deep fog of a very difficult, painful tragedy that happened the morning of April 16th. And tragedy we're talking about, which has made major news, is the murder suicide of the former lieutenant governor of Virginia and his wife. There is no reason to rehash the details of the tragedy because it is ubiquitous. The details are everywhere. And it is very painful to even recall and recount and go back through those difficult details. And so Erica and I have chosen to do something different here. We've seen a lot of comments that people have made, posts that people have made, videos that people have made about this tragedy. Justin Fairfax, the former lieutenant governor, and his wife, Dr. Serena Fairfax. We've seen a lot, and we want to come from a different perspective. And that perspective is providing insight into a particular type of insight when tragedy hits. But we're doing this for the sake of those two beautiful teenage kids who now are essentially orphans. They have lost both mother and father from this tragedy. And let me be clear, Erica and I are not here to blame anyone. There's enough of that going on, or to try to explain how people should have behaved differently. There's enough of that going on. We're here to actually address the caregivers who are now taking on a tremendous task of helping Cameron and Karis, the two teenage kids, go through life under the dark fog, dark clouds of this tragedy. We are dedicating this conversation, this chat, this insight to Cameron and Karis by way of addressing the caregivers, because the community that these two teenagers have is the thing that's going to get them through. And we want the community, particularly those who are directly involved with their care, to have a unique set of skills and insight and tools to manage what they're dealing with and to manage how the children or the teenagers are dealing with this difficulty as well. So we're going to talk today about how human design and how emotional intelligence is a type of insight and tool and resource and awareness that can make a huge difference in going through this tragedy and beyond. And this is for the caregivers. One day, Cameron and Karis will embrace human design and emotional intelligence, but it might not be right now. That's why the caregivers are the ones that we are investing in, because if we can help you be at your best, you will help them too. With that intro, Erica, any thoughts before we go into how human design and emotional intelligence are a unique set of tools and insight that can be helpful?
Well, I just appreciate that that we're having this conversation, and our focus is going to be different on the caregivers, because I want to wrap my arms around them as
Mm.
they wrap their arms around the children.
Yes.
Now is the time for the tribe. In human design, we have tribal energy, individual energy, and collective energy.
Mm.
Is the time to focus on the tribal energy. Tribal energy is all about reciprocity and support. And that's what they need right now, support. And so um, I hope by us having this conversation, just putting this energy out into the atmosphere for them to miraculously receive and feel the love being poured
Yeah.
towards those caregivers and those children at this time, so they could use it to uh, take the next steps.
I love how you frame that, how you want to wrap your arms around the caregivers as they wrap their arms around these kids. It was such a visual that came along with that, and an emotional visual too. I could see that, us holding them close. I don't even know who they are. I don't
Right.
know who the caregivers are. I don't know if it's the grandmother, grandfathers. I don't know, but I feel them. I feel them. I feel their pain, and holding them, holding space for them and holding them close is the best service that we can offer to them.
Yes.
So let's talk a little bit about, in practical terms, how under how the caregivers can benefit from knowing their human design, and what that would mean for them, like what steps they would even take to even understand what that means, and how it would even apply to this incredible tragedy and what they would need to do. Let's start there.
Well, human design is a pattern recognition system. It provides you with the self awareness that you need to center yourself so you know which direction is best for you to go in. And knowing yourself and understanding yourself helps you know and understand other people. So, being a caregiver, understanding how you are designed to thrive, understanding how other people experience you, understand how you best communicate most effectively in your most emotionally intelligent way is crucial in moments such as this.
Hmm.
Critical. You want to be sure that you can communicate your needs as a caregiver, because you're still human, you have needs. And then you need to be able to nurture someone else.
Mm. Yeah, I get you. So let's go into the five types, and how that type might tend to tragedy and tend to care for those who are experiencing tragedy. Um, can we go through that for a few moments?
Sure, sure. I'll start with manifester, just and of course I'm just speaking in
Right.
generalizations.
Right.
Um,
And you have to speak in generalizations, because without knowing the specific design type of the caregiver, it's hard for you to say exactly how they would manage this, what they need to do, etc. Right?
Absolutely, absolutely. One of the reasons I use human design as a tool, because it allows me to give specific advice
Mm-hmm.
to you, as
Mm-hmm.
opposed to giving general advice to you. But general insight, I can still give general insight
Yeah.
at this moment. So, general insight, there are five human design types. So, the first one we'll look at is the manifester. How would a manifester show up as a caregiver? A
Mm.
manifester would show up as a caregiver by initiating the people who they are caring for forward into a new um, reality. They've already been ushered into a new reality, and the manifester will help blaze that trail for them in this scary, uncertain time. The
Mm.
manifester is going to move. The manifester is going to speak life into you. The manifester is going to go out and walk before you and part that Red Sea for you. That's how a manifester will move as a caregiver. That's how a manifester is going to hold space and show love for someone.
Mm-hmm.
A generator type is going to respond to you. A generator type is going to respond to how you're showing up, and they're going to be energized to care for you.
Mm-hmm.
They're literally going to have the capacity to work tirelessly to identify your needs and meet those needs.
Mm. Are these the ones that, you know, they're bringing the food, they're dropping off the food at the house, they're cleaning up, they're taking their car to the shop, they're taking the kids to the school? Is this similar to what a generator type?
You got it. You got it. The manifestor is the one, they're going to handle all of the arrangements. Okay, we need to call this person. We need to do that. We need to start that. That's the manifestor. Okay, if we call this person, where is this document? Right?
Mm-hmm.
The generator is going to come in, may not know what to say, because the manifestor is going to say. So the generators may not know exactly what to say. And who knows? There's no perfect thing to say in a moment like this. Mm-hmm. The generator is going to come in and physically do the doing.
Mm.
The cleaning, the bringing the food, the washing the clothes, making you go rest and take a nap, screening your phone calls for you. Yeah. Doing the do.
Yeah. Right? Yeah. Mm-hmm. I love that.
The projector is going to help you remember how to be.
What does that mean?
Generators are doing. Projectors help you be. Get back in your being. Help you take a breath. Mm-hmm. I'm still a human being. I still have breath in my body. Where am I? The projector is going to help orient you. Who am I and where am I in this moment? That's what a projector is going to do.
Okay. So if the caregiver is a projector, help me understand how they will interact with the kids. Well, who they will be for the kids.
They're going to be a perimeter. They're going to be a perimeter. They're going to look at the person, the people they're caring for as the whole total system. They're going to make sure everything is organized. They're going to make sure overwhelm doesn't set in, burnout doesn't set in for the other caregivers. The projected caregiver is not only going to help the people they're caring for, but they're going to zoom out even more and look at the caregiver system, the tribe in its entirety. Okay. And it's going to orchestrate and help other caregivers, generators not burn out, help the manifester communicate more effectively so they don't become angry, so they could manifest and initiate in a state of peace, because that's how they do it most effectively.
Yeah.
So the projector is going to do two things: going to zoom out and help everybody else who are also caregivers and care for the children, the people who they're caring for directly. And that direct caregiving is going to look like being the ears and the eyes, letting the people, the children know, I see you. This is where you are in this moment. It's going to help the children ground themselves in this moment and every moment that comes, whether it's a high moment or a low moment.
Okay, so we've got manifester, we've got the generator's role, we've got the projector's role, we've got two more roles to go, right?
Well, one. So the reflector. So the manifesting generator, I included that with the generator because they're responding.
Gotcha.
They're responding. And so the fifth one is the reflector, which you was getting to. So the reflector.
So I just don't want to make sure I didn't confuse people. So we've got the manifester generator, the projector, that's the third, the reflector, one, two, three, four, the reflector,
and
caregiver,
the classic generator. So we have a manifester we
yeah,
spoke about.
yeah,
Then I spoke about the generator.
hmm,
I did not speak separately about the manifesting generator
that combined one, okay, yeah,
because they're going to respond first, like a generator, and
gotcha,
then they can also go and make the phone calls and do the things.
gotcha,
And
okay,
then fourth, I spoke about how the projector is going to hold the space and zoom out, not only care for the children, but care for the other caregivers and help direct their energy so they're working smarter and not harder.
yeah,
And then fifth is the reflector type. The reflector type as a caregiver is going to scan the environment, sample the environment, and give a report through their energy, through their presence of how progress is being made. Are we going in the right direction? Are we
mm,
moving too quickly? How
mm,
are, it's a temperature check. How are the people, the children we're caring for?
mm-hmm,
The
mm-hmm,
reflectors want to make sure we stop and check in and check their temperature.
mm-hmm,
So even if the children aren't verbalizing or expressing how they're doing in the moment, a clear and aligned reflector will be able to tell the other caregivers and demonstrate, communicate what the children, how they're actually progressing or not. Because remember, reflectors are like chameleons, they're mirrors. So
mm.
whatever reflector is giving out, that's what they're getting from that person, place, or thing it has its attention focus on. Is just reporting the news.
So the reflector is picking up on what the kids are dealing with and going through and how they're feeling
And what they're not saying.
and what they're okay and what they're not saying.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, feeling but not saying.
Yeah.
Hmm. They sound like in the emotional intelligence space, they sound like the perfect empathizers.
Yes,
They're the empaths.
they are the
That,
natural empaths.
mhm,
Yes.
yeah, which definitely everyone in the system needs. And so what I find interesting about what you just described in terms of insight and resources and support for the caregivers to help these children, the teenagers, I keep calling them children, but to me they're children.
Yeah.
And let me just back up and say this really is applicable to any family that's going through a tragedy like this. Any, even children that are dealing with divorce and custody battles, because one of the matters in this case is divorce and custody issues between the parents. This is suitable for those children who are going through custody and divorce battles. Their parents are, and the parents needing the same kind of insight and support. So I want to make sure that we're talking about how this applies across the board, but more specifically to this unique case as well. Um, so, what's interesting to me about the human design as the way that you describe these human design types and how they participate in making the burden of the tragedy less and supporting the children is there really needs to be every player
Mm.
in this team. There needs to be a team, and we need every one of these players on the team, on Team Cameron Karras. Okay, the manifester, the generator, the projector, the reflector, because in the absence of one or the other, we're missing the wholeness that the teenagers are going to need, that the teenagers need. And they may be with a caregiver who's just a manifester, not just, but who is a manifester, let's just say.
Yeah.
And what we want the caregiver to understand is if you are a manifester, and hopefully if you don't know, you will come to know, because you'll give some resources, Erica, in a little bit about how to come to know. If you're a manifester, you're missing a few other important pieces to help these teenagers journey through this very difficult space. And that would say to me, we got to go find these other players, right? I mean, what do you think? Am I rambling? Am I making sense on this? Because I think every player needs to be a part of this.
That makes perfect sense. And that would be the perfect scenario. This is time, like I said at the beginning, this is time for the tribe to rise up
Right.
for these children. So
Yeah.
we need all hands on deck. And
Yeah.
even if in a perfect world, you can't have all the 5 types available, that's okay.
Mm-hmm.
Knowing your type
Mm-hmm.
can be enough.
Yeah.
Because that way you can show up as your best self. The goal at this point is just to not show up in your not self.
Mm.
Show up as your best self for yourself first so you can show up for these children. And these types of topics are near and dear to my heart. I have a career of 25 years as a social worker, did foster care and adoption and social work. And some of those children were in foster care for this very reason.
Yes. Yeah.
I've sat with these children. I've become their legal guardian because there was no parents, there was no family members readily available to become their caregivers. So they ended up in the foster care system.
Yeah.
And then I would do my due diligence, find relatives, different states, make the connections. This is 25 years ago. So this is before I could just look someone else up on Facebook and do the thing. I had to drive. Remember one time I had to drive from Virginia to Delaware, to do a home study, to interview, I believe it was an aunt. So I could make the determination, was this aunt, can I present this aunt to the judge as a suitable long-term caregiver for these children that I was the legal guardian of. And of course, they were in foster care, so the foster parents are the physical guardians. But so this topic is very near and dear to me, professionally and personally.
Yeah. Wow.
And so I'm speaking from many, many perspectives. And so even if you don't know if you don't know everyone's human design type, that's a perfect world. We may not have the time or the capacity to learn everyone in the tribe type right now. But if you can take a moment to be there for yourself. Who am I? So I know who to be for them.
Yeah.
Oh, this is how I communicate. Oh, this is how I best make decisions. Why do I want to know how I best make decisions? So I can make decisions for these children.
Yeah.
And what's best for them.
I appreciate you putting in that perspective, because if the caregiver is a reflector and is deeply empathic and reflecting back how the children are feeling and holding space for them, and they're not a generator, meaning they can't be doing everything, fixing the food, driving the kids to school. I mean, that would be overwhelming, and important for them to know that they have those limitations so they don't overexpend themselves. Now, with that said, it brings in the emotional intelligence part as a skill set. So what you just said made me think about how emotional intelligence dovetails here. When I say emotional intelligence, I'm talking, I just want everyone to understand, I'm talking about emotional intelligence as a skill, as an ability. And in the EQ world, there are 5 core competencies. The one competency that is so important here, whether you're a manifestor, generator, projector, reflector, or manifestor generator, is the skill set called stress management.
That's good.
Stress management, there is just no way that the caregivers are not feeling some sort of stress. There just no way. This is tragedy. It is naturally stress inducing. And we feel the stress, but sometimes don't know what to do with it. And here's where it becomes a skill that's necessary to learn. Stress management is something that you can learn to do. And I just want to drop a couple of things and love to hear you, Erica, reflect back on it when you put your HD hat back on. But one of the things that's important is in terms of managing the stress as a skill. The first and most important thing I would say, don't look at any social media. Shut it down. In fact, don't even look at the news. Because when you do, it will heighten your stress, your heart rate will go up, your blood pressure will go up. It's just not worth it. I'm suggesting don't do it as a skill. You're going to have to train yourself to shut it off, not only for your sake, but also for the kids' sake, because on social media right now and on the news right now is the demonization of the father and the deep sympathy of the mother. And no child, these children do not need to hear, see, know about what's being said about their parents right now. So the caregivers to manage their stress, which will help them manage the stress of the children, is my first step, my first tool, my first suggestion: shut it off. You will know what you need to know when you need to know it, but the media is not going to be your friend. The second thing I would say in terms of managing stress, I'm sorry, my computer likes to just shut down when I do Substack with you. I don't know. Well, here I'm back again. Can you see me?
You're here.
Okay. The second thing I think is absolutely necessary, and again, no matter what your human design type is in terms of managing stress, is to establish, if you don't have it right now, some kind of routine. So I like to book in my days. The morning begins with the meditation, and the evening ends with some kind of gratitude. To manage your stress, you need to choose how you're going to start your day and how you're going to end your day. Because if you don't start your day under some bit of your control, even if it's 5 minutes, and end your day in some bit of control, then the matters of the day and the matters at hand will completely take over. As a skill, start your day, end your day with something that anchors you. For me, I do transcendental meditation. That's how I open up my day. And at the end of the day, I turn on my gratitude songs and my gratitude meditation songs, actually, and allow myself to go off to sleep. That's what I sleep on. The third, as difficult as it's going to be, again, we're talking about stress management as a skill, as something you learn to do, not just something you tolerate. I'm going to drop one more, and it's going to sound so counterintuitive. Find a way to laugh. Find something that makes you laugh. I turn on the late night shows. What is the late night funny shows? What is it called?
The talk shows?
The late night talk shows.
Yeah.
The funny ones.
Yeah.
Find something to make you laugh, because laughter, it's true what the Bible says, laughter does good like a medicine. But what laughter does is it also reduces your stress level.
Yeah.
And it generates the good feeling chemicals and lowering the unpleasant feeling chemicals or unpleasant chemicals. So those are just three. I could go on, but those are just three things. And I think, you tell me if I'm off, that no matter what your design type is, you can incorporate stress management reducing and stress management skills and stress reducing skills.
Yes. And I can appreciate that you say laughter may sound counterintuitive, but it is medicine. And physiologically, it works because it forces you to breathe and exhale.
Yeah.
It forces you to exhale, to get your life force energy flowing through your veins and blood.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
that's the physiological reason why it works. Emotionally, you just shared why it works.
Yes, 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 exactly. And I know it may be hard for anyone to think right now there's nothing to laugh about. I can feel that truth for some in this moment. But however, I'm going to encourage the caregivers to find something that makes them laugh, um, whatever that might be.
Because that's where hope lives.
Mm,
It's a sign of hope.
I like that.
It's,
Yeah.
it's, it's a sign of vitality
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
that you're still here,
Mm-hmm.
that you're still alive, and you can be in gratitude about that. It's okay to smile about that.
Mm-hmm.
It's okay to remember and smile upon good times. You have great memories to
Yeah.
laugh about.
Mm-hmm.
That
Mm.
favorite joke, that favorite inside joke that only you two know about.
Yeah.
You're allowed to smile about that. And especially being a caregiver, especially if you knew the parents
Mm-hmm.
and you
Mm.
knew the whole family as a unit. You have those memories to draw from at this time
Yeah.
to keep you going. So,
Yeah. I think what we want to remind everyone listening of is this: the caregivers have to take care of themselves. Their well-being is a huge priority right now, more than ever before, because the burden, well, not really a burden, but carrying
mhm.
the burden of this tragedy is going to be, it's already hard for them. And we know that it's hard for the children too. But taking care of yourself first as a priority will help sustain you through this difficult time.
And this shows up in other areas of life as a caregiver. It begins with the pregnant mother.
Mhm.
Care for yourself. Why? Because your baby is in there.
Mm.
How you treat yourself is how your baby is going to be treated by default.
Yeah.
So that's what we're talking about.
Mm-hmm.
We're giving the same type of message to the caregiver.
Mm-hmm.
In human design, we go through the 64 traits about on a weekly basis. And coming up in the next day or so is trait or gate 27. And that name is called caring, the nurturer, the
Mm-hmm.
caregiver, the responsible one.
Yeah.
And that is all about in the 6 steps, in the 6 stages to each gate or trait in the human design um, framework. But
Mm-hmm.
step one to trait 27, being a provider, a caretaker,
Mm-hmm.
is self-care.
Mm.
Self-care.
Yeah.
So just like when you're on an airplane, they
Mhm.
say, put your mask on before you help someone put their mask on.
Yeah.
And that's all we're trying to communicate. Just a
Mhm.
reminder that for you to be able to nurture someone else, for you to be a resource for someone else, for
Yeah.
you to be a guardian for someone else, guess what? You have to be here. You have to be present. You have to be healthy in all capacities, medically, emotionally.
Yeah.
So you cannot be responsible for someone else until you're responsible for yourself. Even the word itself, responsibility, which means respond with the ability. You don't have the ability if you haven't taken care of yourself.
Mm. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Um, so I want to offer some resources to the caregivers. And before we do that, I just want to say to the caregivers of Cameron and Karis, my heart goes out to you. I don't know you, you don't know me, but I want you to know that my prayers, my thoughts are for your well being, as well as the well being of these two beautiful children that you're taking care of. And I don't know if you're caregivers, plural, or caregiver, singular, whether it's a group or a single person. I sit here with full support of you going through this journey. And the resources that Eric and I want to offer you are just so that you can go through this holding space for yourself and holding space for the children. Erica, what can anyone go, where can they go to find out more information about knowing their human design type that might be very helpful in them navigating this difficult journey with the children?
Well, I have resources on my website and my social DNA library at satorisynergy.com.
Victoria's.
If they want to learn specifically about how understanding themselves at this time can help them show up better
Yeah.
for themselves, excuse me, and the people that they're caring for.
Mm-hmm.
So that's from the human design perspectives. And of course, I would recommend the things that people already know about
Mm-hmm.
uh, your village, your tribe. This is that time to lean on each other because everyone is a different human design type. So everyone is going to show up and hold space for you in a different way. So
Mm-hmm.
let them help you. But sure, finding out how you're designed to thrive is going to help you communicate your needs to those who want to help you while
Yeah.
you're being a caregiver.
Yeah. So that's SATORI synergy.com, where they can go and go to your library, read, understand, and you have a YouTube channel as well that we can drop into the notes here, um, the show notes here. I would also offer to the caregivers, you can definitely take a look at emotional intelligence through my website, Win with EQ, WIN with EQ. Um, and I would also like to suggest a book that I think is not directly related to stress management, but it absolutely has everything to do with managing your stress. And it's called Permission to Feel. And
Mm,
it's by Dr. Mark Brackett.
mm,
All right. Because right now, you need permission to feel what you feel because this is a hard place to be. And those children need permission to feel what they feel. And if you give yourself that permission to feel, it will reduce your stress. And if you give yourself permission, you will naturally give permission to everyone else who needs to feel the difficulty and the burden and the pain and the tragedy that is before them. So, a book and a website, 2 websites and a book. And hopefully, that will be a great starting place for you to take care of yourself as you take care of the children. Any final words you want to offer, Erica, before we say so long for now?
No, I just want to send my deepest condolences.
Yeah.
And send love and light, and just encourage and remind everyone to lean on each other, your faith, your tribe. Do whatever you need to do to be healthy.
Yeah.
What you need to do to be healthy may look different from what another person needs to do to be healthy. We all grieve differently. We all get relief differently. And that's what human design reminds us, that we are all different, and you have permission to be different. It doesn't have to look like anyone thinks it should look like.
Yeah, love it. Thank you. We'll see you next week with another HDEQ chat with Pamela, Elaine, and Erica.
All right. Take care, everyone.